Okay, Director Hughes.
Yes.
Director Hawthorne, yes, I'm here.
And Vice President Nielsen.
Yes.
Okay, we have a quorum. Ginger, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
Pledge allegiance to the
Begin
flag
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. Okay, we are at the public comment section of the meeting. As provided under Government Code Section 54954.3 Subdivision A, during a special meeting, any member of the public may address the board concerning any item on the agenda. No other comments will be allowed. Any member of the public wishing to make comments shall identify the agenda item they intend to address, and they will be provided an opportunity to make comment on that item only. Public comment is limited to no more than 2 minutes per person, 20 minutes total for all speakers. Okay, we're open for public comment. Penny, would you manage that, please?
Dr. Flores first.
Thank you, Penny. Well, it seems that the North Yuba-Water District is only conducting the people's business during special meetings, which are intended to only cover urgent matters that are time sensitive. North Yuba-Water District is once again robbing the public of their ability to know the public's business and to be informed of what this water district is doing. The only reason we have a copy of this irrigation policy is because our attorneys procured that copy for us. Is the water district's strategy to ensure shutting down the public and not allowing them the opportunity to participate in the policy process? Because that is what is coming across. This irrigation policy was written undercover. This was not done during a board meeting. This was not discussed during a board meeting. And in the past, workshops were given and it took months to come up with an irrigation policy. Why has this water district instead reverted to emergency meetings to approve policies that no one's had the time to even review, and to schedule these meetings at a time when most people will not be able to attend? This irrigation policy gives unilateral power to this general manager and does not provide for any sort of criteria or methodology to come up with whether or not he's going to give water to somebody. It's all based on his opinion. I also would like to point out that most of your definitions on this document are incorrect. For example, 1 minus inch is not equal to 1.337. Okay, there is another person here who would like to speak. There's 2 of us on this computer. Ms. Marika Fernay would like to speak as well.
Okay, that would be all right. Ms. Fernay, go ahead.
Oregon House. When the policy, I saw two strange points in it. The first one is the policy has no objective. It is not written out what is the mission of the irrigation policy. Is it to deliver, or is it to not deliver, or is it to deliver only to certain people? It's not clear to the public. The other weak point I saw is the water availability criteria. How it's not written in the policy. How does the district, or in this case, the opinion of the general manager alone, how is it determined what is availability of water, and what is the methodology? How do they come to that decision? It's not identified what is the quantity of available. Is it of available water? Is it the storage water? Is it just the 3,700 acre feet? Is it only the dry creek? Or is it only what the weakened ditch can convey? It's of concern to me and other customers that the manager gets unilateral authority to rule and decide who gets water and when, just on his opinion alone. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Next, public comment, please.
Dr. Perla?
Yes. Last week, the board was very generous in providing information to the public caller. I hope it will extend the generosity to my questions. One, I would like to ask the directors to give more details regarding their input to the drafting of the new policy. When and how did they participate in the process? Two, I hope the general manager can help us understand the intention and principle guiding this new policy. What is it for? What does it serve? The agenda quotes California Code 31024 as the basis for this policy. However, that code is about payment delinquency, nothing to do with that. On the other hand, the very first code in the water law, Code 31020, and it's probably there the first for a reason, says a district may do any act necessary to furnish sufficient water in the district for any present or future beneficial use. I would like to ask the author of the policy how Code 31020 was taken into account in this policy. You pretend to follow business interests, but you are suppressing and stifling any economic growth in this area. There is a large commercial vineyard on our property managed by Closaron, an internationally renowned winery. They took that project based on the supply of irrigation water. They suffered already damages in the many thousands. A full irrigation season for our area takes about 3,000 acre feet, 1/7 of our total allocation. This is with all the current delivery losses. A partial or reduced delivery can save us in drier years and can be done with half that amount. If you fix the ditch and the canal, 2,000 would be enough for a whole season. You could have done that with a quarter of what you spent on lawyers last year. The policy is affecting over 150 householders, several hundred people, customer, taxpayer. It was not even on your website earlier this morning. Do they deserve to know about the change and share their input? The new policy is focused on water loss. If you care about water loss, fix the FTD, your leaks. Thank you very much.
Okay, next speaker.
That would be Charles.
Hello, can you hear me?
We can.
Thank you. Charles Sharp, Oregon House, a water district customer. On July 26, 2019, and on July 20th, 2021, CAL FIRE used my lake to dip water from helicopters to put out fires in the immediate vicinity. One of these fires was encroaching on property owned by one of the directors on this board and might have destroyed his house if this water had not been available. Even though water was amply available last year, the general manager decided not to deliver water. If a fire had happened in October, it is doubtful CAL FIRE would have risked dipping water from the lake, which was then about 1/5 its full, the water it would have when full. Any representation by the district that it cannot deliver irrigation water because of the drought is misleading. While it is true that the Central Valley is in deep drought, there is water in South Feathers reservoirs from the earlier rains and from the snowpack in the High Sierra. This water is available to the district. Bullets Bar is at 69% capacity, and the Yuba Water Agency expects it will be able to mostly supply water deliveries as planned. Perhaps the general manager is frustrated that his plan to sell water is not working, that his plan to build a restricted pipe is not working, and that the sources of funding have dried up, and this is his kind of payback on the water district irrigation customers. That is all.
Okay. Any the next public comment, please.
That is Jeanette Cavalieri. By the way, I should say that I believe Don Ferguson is on the line at 1979. Is that correct?
Karen Legate.
Okay.
We just had a thunderstorm in Dobbins and Oregon House. I wouldn't be surprised if it knocked his phone out anyway.
Okay.
Next public comment.
Jeanette Cavalier, there we go.
Thank you. This is regarding actually statements in the actual policy. The measurement used is cubic feet per minute, and figuring that out, it's 7.48 gallons per minute. When you calculate what that, it comes out to 10 gallons per minute. We have classically always had 11.22 gallons per minute, a miner's inch, because our boxes and our devices are 1-inch wood boxes that have the allowance of water to go through. With this figure, there actually is a total for 180 days of 316,224 gallons of water, and an acre foot is 326,851 gallons. So there's actually 0.96 acre feet of water, miner's inch water. The district serves 144 miner's inches total. That's 139.32 acre feet that will not be served by using this measurement that you are proposing of having, using cubic feet per minute. To give a perspective of what that looks like, I will reinforce that 139.32 acre feet looks like 3.5 Collins Lake filled to capacity that the district is not going to serve to the people of Oregon House and Dobbins. What are you going to do with that water?
The limits are 2 minutes on these speakers.
Oops, pardon me. I think I believe it's Donna Corson is up next. 6780.
This is Donna Corson, Dobbins. Please read my statement into the meeting minutes. What is the logic behind denying landowners with ponds irrigation water? This new policy appears to be punitive and draconian. Was there an open to the public workshop held when creating the new policy? Was there a board members and general manager meeting workshop held creating the new policy? What is the motivation for such a drastic change in the irrigation policy? Why is the district seeming to treat the public with which it is charged to serve as the enemy? Why is this public agency treating its customers with contempt? What is the logic of denying landowners with ponds irrigation water? Are there other public water districts or agencies denying their customers who have ponds water? How many water districts deny customers water on the basis of a pond or ponds on a customer's property? How many ponds are within the North Yuba Water Irrigation District? How many ponds in the North Yuba Water Domestic District? How many ponds are in the surrounding water districts? How many ponds in Yuba County? What is the logic for denying water to landowners with ponds? Ponds are a valuable resource with which to fight local fires. Mr. Sharp's pond accessibility stopped the local fire from getting out of control. What is the protocol that determines the necessity for ponds to be lined in order for the landowner to receive water for agricultural use for crop, orchards, gardens? Are there other water?
Penny, we're at the end of the public comment portion. We've had 20 minutes of comment.
Okay. Okay.
I'm sorry, did you want to tell me something?
I was just going to say there are others with their hands up.
Say it once more.
I was just going to say there are others with their hands up.
Yes, and our paragraph says 20 minutes total for all speakers.
Yeah,
so how many more speakers will we have?
Mr. President, you do have the authority to extend that, and I think under the circumstances, I would recommend that you allow the other speakers provide their comment.
Okay, who else wants to speak? Aiden, Don can.
Yes, there's
And Kara.
4 more with their hands up.
Okay,
5.
Let's go next to Kara and Aaron, Penny. We'll allow four more speakers.
Hi, my name is Kara Makrish. I live in Oregon House. I own a winery here and I've farmed vineyards for the last 6 years. I've chosen to build my business here because I want to spend my life and career in a rural community. However, even rural communities need some degree of economic activity in order to be sustainable. Supporting farms and ranches is the best way to maintain a balance of economic enterprise and the rural lifestyle, but giving the manager the unilateral power to deny service to the largest irrigation customers will only deter future farmers and ranchers from investing here and cause current farmers and ranchers to rely on their wells, further contributing to the collapse of our water table and eventually the collapse of our community entirely. Thank you.
Yeah, this is Aaron Makrish in Frenchtown, Oregon House. Everyone needs a boss. You just heard from my boss. Everyone needs a boss and accountability. The general manager is supposed to have board oversight. The board is supposed to have community oversight. And instead, the board has appointed its own hand-picked membership without public voting or community input. The general manager doesn't have to answer to anyone under this new plan, all while getting a pay raise to not deliver water. We are currently living in a dysfunctional water district, which is discriminating against certain customers unjustly. Director Hawthorne, I called you when that fire broke out across the street from your house, and I watched for hours as CAL FIRE heroically put that fire out, saving our entire community and many homes, possibly including yours, with the water from Charles Sharp's pond. Thank you.
Next speaker, Penny.
That would be Aiden Wallace.
On the agenda is resolution number 22-767. Has that resolution been provided to the board? If it has, it should have been provided to the public at the same time. And I find it to be outrageous that the chair wishes to limit public comments on a legislative act of the district before even providing that resolution to the members of the public. Thank you.
Okay, we're at 3 minutes 50, 3 hours 50 minutes, sorry. Got 2 more slots for 2 minutes.
John Mooney is next.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Thank you. I hopefully the board received the email I had, or the letter I had sent earlier today. I'd just like to confirm that that was received by the board members.
Was it sent to my email?
It was sent to your district email. It's listed on the website.
Don, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to step on you there, but I did provide it to the general manager. Whether it's been provided to the directors, I don't know.
Well, I sent a letter to the email addresses for all the board of directors. It's listed on the website as well as your council. In that letter, there's 2 points made. One is about the lack of notice, that this is a complex issue. It's taken obviously the district some time, and to provide the public less than a day's notice with regards to the document is just unreasonable and quite frankly shows a great deal of disrespect to the public. And the other is that there is a CEQA issue here. This is a project approving a new policy that has the potential for a direct or indirect impact on the environment by changing your irrigation practices, how you allocate the water, and a number of other issues associated with there. Could have impacts to groundwater recharge, could have impacts to groundwater levels because of additional pumping. And all of those are CEQA issues. And you have not done a CEQA document. This new policy is clearly a project within CEQA. It doesn't fall within any exemption in CEQA. And as a result, approval of this at this meeting without an environmental document, a prior approval of an environmental document, would be a direct violation of the California Environmental Quality Act. So it would be my recommendation to the board that you table this issue and not bring it back until you have a CEQA document that has been subject to public review and comment. Thank you.
Okay, next, public comment.
That would be SD Ambeck or?
Stephen Dambeck from Oregon House. Gary, I came to visit you about 6 months ago in Jeff's office to talk about a feasibility study for a food hub. This is now about to begin with a great deal of support from the county. And what it would result in is increased responsible farming in the Oregon House Dobbins area, especially now with depleted soils and no water down in the valley. This becomes a more valuable area. We already have a great amount of premium growers, and this could provide great economic benefit to the county, which is recognized by the county officials. What I want to take particular issue with is the priority of allocation. The fact of offering to the smallest desires first is really counterintuitive. It means that people with small landscaping projects would have priority over the farmers with the greatest beneficial use, which also would mean income back to the district and certainly tax revenue to the county. I'd like to encourage you to table this until the feasibility study is done so that we can demonstrate what the benefit would be, not only to the county, not only to the farmers, but to the district itself. Thank you.
Okay, I think we're at the end of the public comment. Penny, am I right?
There is one more. John Kinsey is on.
Okay, John, go.
Yes, thank you. My name's John Kinsey with Wayne Jones Helsley. I represent several irrigators within your district. I submitted a letter earlier today, and I'm not going to repeat it, except to say that it is unfair and inappropriate to completely change the way the district manages water to the detriment of the irrigators on 24 hours notice. This is an action that should be taken up at a regular meeting with a public hearing, following workshops, and after receipt of public feedback. The district's practice of soliciting public comment as a separate agenda item is also inappropriate and unlawful. It doesn't provide the public with a fair opportunity to address this body on matters before it. It's also unlawful, by the way, to prohibit members of the public from speaking after 20 minutes has expired. That is not a reasonable opportunity for the public to speak. Now, I've only become familiar with this district over the past year, but what I've noticed is that if the district is presented with an opportunity to seek public input and promote transparency, the district always takes the opposite approach. This isn't consistent with the purpose and objectives of the Brown Act or other California laws. And more importantly, these practices are not consistent with good governance, and these practices are not consistent with an agency that is competent in the legality of its actions. The bottom line, the district is not a private company. The district's a public agency doing the people's business, and that business has to be open to the public. The district is never going to build trust and reduce conflict without first conducting itself in a fair, open, and transparent manner. The district should postpone every matter on this agenda and completely revise the way it does business. Thank you.
Okay. Item D on the agenda, resolution number 22767. I need a motion for that resolution.
This is Director Hughes. I make a motion for resolution 22-762.
I'm sorry, 767.
767, sorry.
Okay. Second?
I'll second it.
Okay, Doug. Okay, discussion about this item.
Give me 1 sec, Gary.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of stuff was said. Wow, that's all I can say. We target something like 150 miners inches. That's just something that, it's a rule of thumb. We can actually come down to the exact number, but using the rule of thumb, we were providing 150 miners inches is everybody in the district that has asked for water in the past, adds up to about 150. I think the lady earlier said it was 150 144, 148. It's in the ballpark. What we are doing here is trying to maximize the number of people receiving water, which is why we decided to, or at least the policy goes through the idea of servicing the smaller customers first. All things being equal, we run out of water at 150. At least we can go beyond that, but 150 is our target. If everybody that has ever signed up, that can sign up, signs up, will be under 150 or will be at 150, so nobody will be denied water. We just want to prioritize to make sure that the little guys get the water. That we're not removing any water from anybody or restricting anybody from having water. It's all based on the historical demand. In terms of ponds, I'm looking at a 1995 policy, a 2008 policy, and the most recent policy that's in effect. They all have had a statement that ponds are not considered beneficially used. I would not have considered this to be controversial since it's been in there for over a decade, and everybody that spoke up complaining about ponds probably has signed an application for water stating they have read and have agreed to this. That they now suddenly don't agree, okay, we can perhaps deal with it, but this isn't anything out of the ordinary. This is not anything that's a surprise. It's not something that was pulled out of our back pocket and thrown onto this. The CEQA is interesting. We're not modifying the ditch. We are modifying nothing. If we have the water, it will go down the same ditches. It'll be delivered to the same miner's inch boxes. There's no change there that would affect the environment in that sense. And as far as we're not restricting people from building storage systems on their property if they want. If they want the fire issue addressed on their property, they can build a system. Now everybody will jump and say, "Oh my God, we're going to make them do this." Well, again, for decades, every policy that they have signed has stated this is not meant for fire, and the reason is that we cannot guarantee that the water will be there for fire. We can't guarantee that the water would be there to fill a pond if we allowed filling of ornamental ponds, storage ponds that are, the water is then used for doing the irrigating the property are allowed under this. It's the ornamental ponds that are not allowed, and they're not allowed in every policy, again, going back. So I understand, I hear the same kind of misinformation that gets put out there. We're not restricting people. We are not probably going to be cutting off any big irrigators because the total is under that 150 or so mark. It's just, I'm at a loss. So this isn't that much different than the text that is contained in any of these other irrigation policies. There are subtle changes here and there, textual changes, and some additional reinforcement of the lack of using the water for inappropriate purposes and what will happen if
Doug. Any other comment from the Board of Directors? Okay, roll call vote, please. Jeff, if you would.
Director Hughes.
Yes.
Director Ferguson. Vice President Nielsen.
Yes.
President Hoffman.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, we're going to the next item, E, closed session. Conference with General Counsel, anticipated litigation pursuant to paragraph 2 or 3 of subdivision D of the Government Code 54956.9, one potential case. Mr. Vergara, would you lead us at the beginning of the closed session, please?
We need to go into the separate breakout room.
I am in the process of assigning people. Give me just one moment.
Yuba-Sutter.live's local government live streams are presented by Plumas Lake Self-Storage in Plumas Lake, where lifelong local residents are helping other residents keep things safe, providing indoor storage units, outdoor RV and vehicle parking, moving supplies, and Penske truck rentals. Details at plumaslakeselfstorage.com. And a good morning to you. I'm Ted Langdell, and I am live with you this morning, right here about 10:02 on Friday morning. We are in the Caltrans building in Marysville, downstairs in Two Bits Cafe. And I'm having what's left of my breakfast, which is this wonderful 3-egg breakfast burrito with ham and potatoes and onions and all kinds of cool stuff, and a cup of bridge coffee, which you can get right here at Two Bits Cafe. And one of the reasons that I'm here is I just love looking out the blinking window here. Let me kind of show you what my view is. This is a nifty table here, and the thing that really attracts my eye is this tree. This wonderful tree here. And some of the passing traffic. But that's not actually all why I wanted to go live this morning. I wanted to tell you about what's happening on Yuba-Sutter.live this weekend and this coming week. It is the BOK-KAI weekend. Yes, indeed it is. And we have a lot of stuff going on for you this BOK-KAI weekend. For one thing, we are going to be introducing the BOK-KAI Parade with a little visit with Judy Mann, and we will be talking, hello, let's make sure Judy stays up there, and we will be talking with Judy along with Candice Young about what happens during the parade, and we'll be giving you a little bit of a parade preview during the period of time that the parade takes to get from its start at 6th and C Streets in Marysville all the way down to where we will be live streaming the parade beginning at 11 a.m. So while this parade gets underway at 11 a.m. at 6th and C, or 6th and D rather, comes down D Street and then makes the corner, comes down first and shows up over here. This is the lion, the dragon that you will see. I understand it's a little shorter this year because there's fewer people underneath the dragon helping to make it stand up. But we'll find out a little bit more about that. So that's 11 a.m. on Saturday. And if you would like to sponsor the parade, if you'd like to underwrite the parade, give me a ring at 530-301-2931. That's 530-301-2931. Well, we move along from the parade on Saturday to our usual Yuba-Sutter local government meetings at, beginning at 9 o'clock in the morning. And then on Wednesday, we move along to our new show. Yes, indeed, our new show, which is something that seems to be getting good reception around town. It happens every Wednesday, right around noontime, give or take. Just depends on whether we're having issues getting our live stream up. But at noon on Wednesday, and this coming Wednesday, we're going to be talking with Bob Harlan about his adventures here in Yuba-Sutter. It is all happening live right here on Yuba-Sutter.live, and it is happening with little old me, Ted Langdell. That's me right here. So we hope that you will join me, or as my friend Tony Cox likes to say, join I, right here on Yuba-Sutter.live for a whole bunch of stuff. We've got, again, BOK-KAI weekend coming up, and Yuba-Sutter.live and our usual string of public service government meetings. So we hope you will tune in for BOK-KAI weekend at 11 o'clock on Saturday, and then our fine local government meetings. And then, after all of that is over and done with, on Wednesday, our new show, Lunch with Langdell at noon on Wednesday. So a lot of stuff going on right here on Yuba-Sutter's version of C-SPAN, and our local replacement for Cable Channel 5. If you remember Cable Channel 5, that's sort of what we do right here. And we hope that you will join us on Yuba-Sutter.live and live streaming YS on Facebook, which is where you will find all of this stuff. Right here. Yes, indeed, right here. Live streaming YS and Yuba-Sutter.live. So, thank you for joining us for this particular special presentation, and we will see you for the parade coming up tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock right here on Yuba-Sutter.live.
Hi, I'm Judy Mann, and I'm president of the Marysville Peking Sister City Association. And this year we're celebrating 36 years of sisterhood. I'm really proud that during the BOK-KAI Festival this year, our 142nd to be exact, they are coming, our representatives from San Francisco, the Taipei office, is coming over to enjoy our festivities like they do every year for 36 years. I'm fortunate to have them, and this weekend I will be hosting a little event here in honor of them, like I've done every year. For 36 years, they have been our guests here in Marysville, and in turn, we go to their 10/10 celebration in San Francisco.
So what's happening in the room?
So today, we have a lot of events going on throughout Marysville. 11 o'clock, it starts with the BOK-KAI Parade. Starts with a bang, and it's going to end with the bang on Sunday at 4 o'clock with the Bomb Day. But today here we will be doing the festivities and honoring our special guests. Also, there'll be little things for kids to do. We'll have a musician here. We'll have a magic show, and also we'll have a distinguished reader who will be reading the book for the kids here, an author that actually wrote the book. So we're looking forward. Everybody, please come down and join us.
Show us around.
So let me just show you what I have here. On the wall here, we have some wonderful paintings that were given to us as gifts when we took our first trip to Taiwan. And these were gifts for the students from the elementary school that we went to. If you look, these kids were maybe 11 years old when they did. So this was way before when I went in 1996. So the first delegation went a lot earlier, consider 36 years ago. So we have a lot of paintings done by the students. I have my collection of my books of the Chinese culture here located, and gifts that our Taiwan people have given us over the years, wonderful gifts I have on display. So the many books that they've given us. So
what is your connection to the Chinese community here via someone who was your mother-in-law? Tell us that story.
Okay.
How did you become part of the Chinese
In 1981, I moved here from San Francisco. I was married to a young Chinese gentleman by the name of Michael Ju, and he had ties to Marysville. And actually, my mother-in-law in San Francisco used to come here every year to sing in the opera. We had 2 opera houses here, I believe, down in Chinatown, and so she used to sing in one of them. So I, as the daughter-in-law, I used to watch her get in full costume and makeup and everything, and then watch her perform over at the Hop Sing Society. And that was like in the late 70s.
And what was her name?
Her name was Eleanor Ju. So I just feel very proud that I am associated with the family. When I moved here, I lived with Katie Lim, and Katie Lim was one of the, I want to say, the best liaisons for Marysville, the Chinese community, and Beale Air Force Base. Her and her husband, John, were just wonderful people to share and educate us. Katie was a wonderful cook. I mean, people stood in lines to sign up for her classes, and she was a wonderful lady and always stays close to my heart.
Tell us more about that.
So Katie Lim had 4 sons, and the gentleman that I was married to was her number 5 son. So in the Chinese custom, they have number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. He was number 5. He wasn't really by blood the son, but Katie just was very close to his mom and family back since the 40s, 50s. So I've been family. I've been considered family, and I've always been into the Asian culture, and this is just one of the ways that I want to share. And I was with the Friends of the BOK-KAI for many years, and still am a board member. And we fostered a relationship with the Sister City group, and that's how it all began 36 years ago with the Sister City group.
So you have some really good family ties here and good memories and what have you.
Yes, wonderful memories that just the little things, just visiting or taking her tours. And today, Gordon Tom is my other half, and he just does wonderful tours down in Chinatown. And I just encourage you all, please come down to the Info Center. That's where I will be this weekend. Come down, enjoy the parade at 11 o'clock, and then come down and enjoy all the festivities. Yuba County Library will be doing things in their parking lot. The parade committee has a wonderful lineup of vendors, so please come down, enjoy, and then you'll see the lion dancers dancing around. So we have everything set up for the Taipei people that are coming, my representatives, and I'm looking forward. So as you can see, more of the artwork on the wall. So I'm excited. We have some tea. There will be all day long serving hot tea. So please come out. If it's cold, come in. You're welcome. Everybody's welcome.
What else is here?
And that's about it. I would say just come by and visit.
And that's the Chinese room.
And this is and we have auction items here that we are going to be raffling off. So please come by and win a tiger. This big one is waiting for you to take home. I'm sure it is. So please, it's the year of the tiger. Let's all enjoy.
I believe we're all back.
All the directors back?
Yes, Director Nielsen.
Hawthorne's back. Ferguson's back. Ginger?
I'm here.
Yes, Michael, we're all here.
All right, I just, let me report out of closed session that I've been directed by the board to refer a possible water theft matter to the district attorney's office for investigation. That's it, Mr. President.
Thank you. Okay, thanks to everyone for coming today to the meeting. We appreciate your attendance, and we are now going to close out the meeting. We are adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.